and welcome to the Woollentwine Fibrestudio knitting podcast. My name is Jule and I'm the dyer and maker behind Woollentwine Fibrestudio, which is a small creative space located here in northern Germany where I play with natural yarns and natural dyes. It's been a while since I've recorded a proper knitting episode, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to chat you through my knits in this episode for once. The last couple of months have been quite busy, both regarding shop-related things and also some other things that I'm really excited to tell you about, but I can't right now. I'm not pregnant, by the way. This always sounds so mysterious, but yeah, some cool things are happening and I'm going to share that with you once I feel good about it. And until then, I'm happy I'm finally able to share some knits with you because, yeah, as mentioned, these last few months were kind of flying by. I cannot believe it's June already. How is it that even? And yeah, for a big part of those last few months, my knitting mojo has not really been there, to be honest. I don't normally get this feeling quite a lot, and it's not normally season related for me, but I don't know. It was just, I think with everything going on and with being so busy and everything being all over the place, I don't know, I kind of lost it a bit. It might also be, I have been trying to examine what it has been that kept me from knitting, but I think it might have also been because I've always been so focused on knitting things for the shop to showcase yarns and everything, because I was so eager to show you how the yarns look when they're knitted up. And yeah, I was a little bit, I just lost it a bit, and it might have been too work related that way, so I tried to step away from that a little bit and do more selfish / personal knitting. But yeah, I finally casted on some new projects and have something to share. I don't have a lot of finished objects to share, of course, because yeah, there has not been a lot of knitting going on the last few months, but yeah, I have one that I briefly talked about in another video, but I'm going to show that one to you in depth because I thought it's still worth chatting you through. And yeah, how have you been doing? It feels very weird to just be casually chatting about my knitting because the last few episodes were about shop-related things and introducing new products and everything, so I don't have as much of a guideline this time, so yeah, bear with me if I'm just really chatty and feeling seeming all over the place a little bit, so I have to get back into the podcasting rhythm, I guess. So in this episode I'm going to show you a couple of finished objects and also what I'm working on, and also tell you about something that I want to work on in the future. Or at least my plannings. You never know how it all turns out, you know. I'm telling you about all my plans and what I'm thinking I want to knit in the future, and I never end up doing all of these projects. But yeah, I'm going to at least tell you what my plans are. Let's see how if they actually come to life. But yeah, starting with my finished object. It's unfortunately only one. But it's a very special one, and if you have been following along, you might have seen this one in my introduction to our Unspun Yarn Thrive that I'm going to link into one of these corners. But it's our own Unspun Yarn that I released, I think, 2 months ago, if I'm not mistaken. And that one was actually released right after I caught the, we're not going to say its name, virus. And I used the quarantine to knit this sample, and it was really enjoyable, and I thought, why not chat you through this knit, because I really enjoyed it, and I know it's a very popular pattern, and I know some of you might have looked into it and want to knit it as well, but This is my Ranunculus sweater by Midori Hirose, and as mentioned, it's knit in our Unspun Yarn Thrive, and this is the colorway Breeze. And the pattern, I mean, it has been a favorite for so long. I'm sure you all have seen it on Ravelry or anywhere. But it's a very popular pattern, and it features this beautiful textured yoke with a lot of interesting stitches actually. Some of them being very simple, but still very effectful, I feel. And yeah, creating this beautiful textured yoke with some lacy motifs, some texture, and yeah, it's knit in the round, top down, and it has a slightly cropped fit, which I actually like. You know, I usually crop my sweaters, but yeah, it's a bit of a cropped fit, and yeah, has a pretty simple round yoke construction that's followed by a few raglan increases below the armhole to make it a bit deeper and to make the sleeves a bit wider, I guess. And I pretty much followed the pattern except for changing the ribbing that is normally designed to be a twisted rib, but I went with just a regular rib after the tubular cast on, and also for the bottom ribbing, just because I seem to not be the best at twisted rib, or not, but like not the best, but I'm just, it's not my skills that are the issue, but I'm just not liking the look of it very much, so that's why I did something else. So here we go. That's how it looks without the twisted rib. Is there an issue with the focus? No. So yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I think I knitted a size 4, and apart from the ribbing, I don't think I made any modifications. And even though I always thought round yokes don't fit me very well, I think, yeah, this definitely has a very nice fit also with my body shape, and I really enjoy wearing it. It's a bit too warm to wear it right now, which is why I'm not wearing it for the episode. But yeah, it's very enjoyable to wear and very easy to wear. And yeah, I used everything else was just like the pattern stated, so 6mm needle, and I used 2 strands of our Unspun Yarn Thrive in the colorway Breeze, and this is just a natural sheepy color, so no dyes to it, so it's just a creamy, not really creamy, but just a light beigey grey, I would say. And I think it really brings out the texture in the yoke very well. I mean, you could also knit it in a darker yarn, but I guess with those kind of subtle textural elements, I think it's nice to use a lighter yarn to really showcase them. And yeah, I really enjoyed knitting this. It actually flew off my needles. I mean, I'm not usually knitting on this large of a needle, but it was very enjoyable, and it was done in a week or something. I mean, I was in quarantine at that time, but still it knits up super quickly, and the descriptions and instructions are very clear. So in case you're a beginner knitter or something and you're not very sure whether whether you can master any kind of textural stitches already, I think it's a very well written pattern, and the instructions are very clear, so definitely worth giving it a try. And yeah, the size range has been updated, so it should be size inclusive by now, so everyone should find the perfect size for themselves. I should maybe mention that this yarn is currently out of stock because we decided to split the whole, the spun batch. We split it into two for logistical reasons, because I didn't know how to package everything and store everything. And so we split it into two, and the first batch sold out right when we released it, but we will have a second batch that we'll bring to the shop at the end of this month, like middle to end. I'm going to announce the next update and when it's going to be available soon, but this episode is not about shop related things. I just wanted to mention that, just in case you see this and you're like, oh, this is nice. There's going to be more information coming. Oh, am I getting really bright here? Let me check. This might be better. I'm going to have more information both on my Instagram and newsletter and on our website and everywhere. So in case you want to look, you can subscribe to the newsletter and everything, and I will inform you about when the next batch is going to be available. But this is my Ranunculus, and as mentioned, I'm really enjoying it, and I really enjoy wearing it, although it might have to be tucked away for the summer months now, because I'm one of those persons that gets warm very easily in the summer, and I definitely cannot really wear anything woolly in the summer. But I think if you're not if you don't get warm that easily and that quickly, I think unspun is something that can also be worn in summer, because it's so airy and lightweight, and not necessarily as heavy as like a worsted weight sweater would be in a spun yarn. So that's the Ranunculus that I can really recommend knitting. It was a lot of fun. And continuing with my whip section next, I guess, because that's the only FO I have. So let's jump right into the works in progress. Onto my works in progress, I have another knitting project that is knit in an unspun yarn, so I'm going to show you that one first. And that is my Forager sweater by Melody Hoffmann. Let me see which way around it belongs. Never know, but I think this way. This is my Forager sweater. And whoops, it's a bit messy, I'm sorry. I just separated for the sleeves and put the bottom stitches on hold, and I think the cable is a little bit small, so it's a bit messy. But yeah, this is my Forager, and it's knit out of Höner as Nutiden yarn in the colorway, I think it's pronounced Tallbark. I'm not sure, but I think it was in the last year, somewhere around end of last year, November, December, I think November collection or something. I might be wrong, but that's what I remember. And it's a very beautiful, I don't know if the camera picks it up, but it's a beautiful brown with reddish undertones, like a berry brown, if you will. And it's a very beautiful color. As all Nutiden yarns, it's just very... it has a lot of depth to it, because there are a lot of different colors blended together, and it's very beautiful. And this one actually was kind of a cast on a whim, because I was really craving something super simple when a lot of things were happening at once. And I wanted something that I could just knit on round over round over round without having to count something, without having any any pattern parts to think about and to concentrate about. So I had exactly, I think, 320 grams of the Tallbark colorway, and I was like, okay, let's go for a crop version of the Forager sweater, because my mom knit a Forager sweater before, and I knit a Forager sweater before, and we both really enjoyed the pattern and its simpleness. And yeah, so it was just like, it was also, I had it already and I was just like, okay, I'm just going to cast on for the Forager. And it's a very simple pattern with just simple round neckline. You cast on with a tubular cast on, and then it's just a very simple raglan with nothing going on. Just a simple raglan that goes pretty deep, as you can see. I don't know if you can actually, but it's a very deep line of raglan increases. And then you just separate for the sleeves and knit the body and the sleeves. And how I usually do it with, especially if I don't know how much yarn I'll have left over, I'll start out with the sleeves, which is what I'm doing right now, knitting the sleeves. And then I'll knit whatever is left into the body, and then that way I don't have a lot of wasted yarn or left over or anything. But actually, speaking of leftovers and finishing this project, I'm not sure if I have enough yarn. It has never happened to me in the last few years, but I had some decisions while I was knitting this, because I cast on for a size, I think a size 4. Yes, a size 4 for the neckline stitches, and then I decided, because I liked the depth and the it becoming a bit wider, I actually increased up to a size 5 just so I could have it a little bit wider even, because I enjoyed that fit a lot. And now I'm not sure if I have enough yarn, and the issue with Nutiden yarn is, I'm sure some of you will know, but they just make their yarn in collections, and once a collection is gone, it's gone. It's not gonna come back. And so I'm having a little bit, I'm playing a little game of yarn chicken with this one, I guess, because I only have, let me check, if I'll show you the ball. Sorry for my squeaky chair, by the way. But I have about this much left of the last, I have this much left of the last that I wound, and then I have one more plate left, so around 100 grams. And I'm really not sure, because I have, you can see I have just a little bit of one sleeve, like around 10 centimeters maybe of one sleeve, and then I have a second sleeve and the body to finish. And even though I do like my sweaters quite cropped, I'm not sure if this will work out. So if any one of you has some leftovers of the colorway Tallbark, I'm happy to maybe get some of them. I don't know. If you have some leftovers, maybe let me know so I can ease my mind. If you don't worry. I'm going to try and get my project finished anyways. But yeah, just in case somebody has leftovers anyways and doesn't know what to do with them, I'm gladly taking them. And yeah, but I also wanted to show you, I don't know if I showed them in a podcast before, but I also really love those stitch markers. These are by Dusana Knit. She's a Czech, from Czech Republic. She's a notions maker, and these are just really pretty. It's a natural rose quartz crystal, and it's just very pretty. I can definitely recommend checking her out. I've bought these with my own money, by the way, and these are just my honest opinions. I know I say that and I state that in every video, but I just wanted to make that clear that I'm not promoting anything that someone gifted to me or something. So yeah, this is my Forager, and I'm really in love with it. Or I should maybe tell you what purpose it should serve one day once I finish it. I want this to be my new work and kind of gardening sweater for spring and autumn, when the day is getting a bit more coolish, but it's still not really necessary to wear a coat or something. I like to just wear a sweater whenever I'm working and also working on garden things. So yeah, that's what it's what it's meant to be. And I think those kind of really easygoing patterns where you can just throw it over and yeah, you know that it fits well. That's just the best thing for these purposes. And yeah, my Forager sweater. I really love this one, and I should definitely continue on it before it gets too hot to knit with a sweater on your lap. I don't even know if that's an issue for many of you. Do you knit in the summer? And if you do you have certain projects that you like to knit in the summer, whether you're not knitting other ones? I don't know. For me, it definitely is the case that I'm kind of transitioning to shawls and socks during summer because, yeah, as mentioned, I do get warm quite easily, and then sometimes it's really unpleasant to have a big pile of wool on my lap. So, but yeah, if I would live in a coolish climate, I don't think that would be the case. I think I would just knit sweaters all year round. But yeah, let's move on with my second work in progress. Okay, speaking of socks and shawls, I'm going to show you my new cast on, my most recent one. And that one is housed in my beautiful Wool & Nature project bag. I have shown you Claire's project bags in other podcast episodes before, but this is my newest acquisition. Claire dyes all the linen and with natural dyes and hand paints them with these beautiful motifs. And I'm just really in love with her work, so I just love her project bags. And these ones have a little drawstring. I think this is her new shape, and they have also a little, how do you say? I don't know the word in English right now, but they have a little strap that you can put over your shoulder. And this is a bit more on the smaller side, but I think I have another sock bag of her, so this is slightly larger than that one, and I think it's just perfect for a shawl project that's just lightweight and easy to carry around in the summer. And so this project is, as mentioned, a shawl project, and this is let me put it the right way around. This is the Sommernacht shawl by Evgeniya Dupliy of Evie Knits, I think is her handle on Instagram. And this one, it looks a bit smushed together because the cable I'm using is a bit too short and I should change to a larger one. But it's a very beautiful shawl that features some garter stitch at the bottom and then a beautiful lace section that's lovely to knit, I can tell you. It's so much fun to knit this because it's super easy to memorize, and also yeah, it's just very beautiful to see it, to see how it develops over the rows and stitches. And yeah, right now it doesn't look like much because, I don't know, every one of you who knitted a lace shawl before, or basically any kind of shawl that has kind of textural patterns and stuff, it looks like a little, it looks a bit, yeah, unspectacular right now, but once you block it and you have all those little lacy waves really blocked out, it looks very beautiful. This pattern was featured in Line magazine issue 14, I think, and I think at the moment it's only available with the magazine, but with how Line works, it should be available as an individual pattern later, like after a while, and then you should also be able to download it without having to purchase the magazine. Although I have to say, I really love some other patterns in that magazine, so it was worth it to buy it for me. But yeah, there are a lot of beautiful other patterns in there that I definitely want to knit. I think what was the name of that cardigan? I don't remember, but I'm trying to put it somewhere. But yeah, it's a very beautiful cardigan with a cool kind of button band construction. I'm going to put it somewhere and then you'll know. But yeah, this is the Sommernacht, and for once that's easy to pronounce for me because it's a German word, and Sommernacht means summer night. So yeah, it's just very fitting because I think this is just the perfect shawl to throw over your shoulders on a slightly coolish summer night when it's not as hot as in the day anymore. And it's very enjoyable to knit, as mentioned. I'm working this one out of our own BFA Masham 4-ply yarn in the colorway shell. Let me show you the skein because I have one more here that I'm about to cake up soon, but this is the yarn. And it's just a very simple purplish neutral that I think goes with a lot of things, like for example with this linen dress it goes very well color-wise, and yeah, it's just a very versatile color. And with my shawls I like them to be very wearable with everything. Like I don't like to think, oh, can I wear this shawl with something else I'm wearing, because of the color being kind of difficult to combine or something. So I prefer them to just be easy so I don't have to decide if it fits my outfit or not. But yeah, this is the Sommernacht shawl and I really enjoy knitting this. It requires only two, it should require only 2 skeins of fingering weight or light fingering. I think the original pattern is designed in a slightly lighter fingering weight, around 460 meters per 100 grams or something like that, and this one has 400 per 100 grams, but it works perfectly, and I don't think I will have to use more than 2 skeins of the BFA Masham 4-ply for this. So yeah, this is the shawl, and yeah, this is definitely one of the projects that I can also knit in the summertime when it's a bit warmer. So looking forward to keep working on this. And I actually feel like I'm really in a shawl mood at the moment. I haven't knit shawls in such a long time, and when I cast this one on it was like the knitting mojo was back at full swing. You know, it had this kind of feeling where you're like, you're going to bed and you have to stop knitting, and then in the morning you're like, oh, I want to knit again, I don't want to work, I want to knit again, you know. And I was really happy that I felt this again, because yeah, as said, I had a little bit of a lack of knitting mojo recently, so that was very nice. And yeah, that was my Sommernacht shawl. So the next work in progress is another summer appropriate project, and that one is a pair of socks. So if you've been following along for a while, you know that I'm actually working on a dedicated episode all about natural sock knitting, like knitting socks without any artificial fibers, like nylon or something. And with all the knowledge that I have already, I want to expand that over the summer as well as I can, and test out some more things and verify some of my thoughts maybe, just so I can really record that episode and have all the info tested and ready for you. And so I decided, it was a bit of a spontaneous cast on, but I decided to cast on a pair of socks out of the same yarn that I just showed you. That's our BFA Masham 4-ply, and that are the War socks by my friend Leke of Fibertales. Wow, the camera keeps focusing on my tattoo. Wait a second, that's not, yes. To show you. These are the War socks, and they are designed in our one of our limited edition yarns that we had earlier this year. That's a very woolly sock yarn out of 100% Romney fiber, and I really love the fuzzy effect of that. And even though we had a second version designed, like the short version designed in our Corridor sock, I love to knit the short pair out of Corridor sock as well, but I felt like the fuzzy effect of the Romney was also super nice, and I felt like the BFL Masham 4-ply, that's also a bit of a fuzzier yarn, would be a good match for that. And since I wanted to test whether that one is actually suitable for knitting socks or not, I cast on for the Vor socks, and they are just really pretty. And I'm just, like, the heel is just done, and I'm just about to finish the foot, so I could start with the toe, and whoops, yeah, that's how it looks like. Just a classic heel flap and gusset construction with an Eye of Partridge heel and those beautiful little flowers at the top. And yes, the yarn, as mentioned, is our own BFL Masham 4-ply again, and it's in the colorway Almond. That's like a light beigey brown tone. It looks a tiny bit darker right now because we're having a really weird overcast light today. But if you look back on my other like yarn preview episodes, you will see that it's a bit lighter in real life. And yeah, that is our BFL Masham 4-ply in the Almond colorway. And yeah, I'm going to finish this pair and then walk around in these socks, just so we can see whether it might be suitable for socks or not, because it doesn't have the highest twist necessarily. Let me see if I can show you. It doesn't necessarily have a super high twist. I don't know if you can actually see that. Maybe this way. And generally, a higher twist is considered to be more hard wearing for sock yarns, and so I want to test whether that actually is the case, or maybe if it's not, I don't know. But yeah, it's all just experiments, and I also like the look of the little flowers in this yarn. So let's see. Those are the Vor socks, and yeah, as mentioned, it's the second pair of those I'm knitting, and I can only recommend. It's a very simple, the whole sock is very simple apart from the flower embroidery at the top, and that one is also very beginner friendly, so don't worry if you don't have a lot of experience with embroidery. Lerke also has a little instructional video where she shows you how to embroider those, and it's really not hard. Like, I'm totally not I'm not experienced at embroidering at all, and it was easy for me to manage, so yeah, definitely recommending checking that out, and I'm excited to see how the yarn will wear in socks. So my last work in progress is not necessarily a big work in progress yet, but it's just my most recent small cast on, and it's not more than a few rows, but I wanted to show it to you anyways, because yeah, I did a little poll on Instagram a few days ago, whether you would like to see this knit out of one color or the other, or the two mull together. And it's our Unspun Yarn again. This is our Unspun Yarn Thrive, and I asked you whether you would like me to see to knit something out of the light colorway Breeze again, or the Storm Cloud, or the two mull together, and it really seemed as if you would like to see them mull together, and so I cast on this tiny little thing that is the beginning of a Boqueria basket by Vanessa Pellisa. And I don't know if you can see, but this is the two colors mulled together and knitted into a linen stitch, which is a very tight little stitch pattern that you create by, like, you always knit and purl on the two sides, and then you slip, sometimes with yarn in the front and in the back, and it creates this very dense fabric that looks very beautiful and is very yeah, a lot denser and a lot more sturdy than just a regular knitted fabric, and I think that is what Vanessa was going for when she was designing the basket, so it really holds up well. But now I have a question for you, because I cast this on and I really love the texture of the linen stitch, but I'm not 100% sure whether this is actually a little bit too busy for me with the marling also going on at the same time. Because I really love how the texture of the linen stitch generally looks, but yeah, with also the colors being a bit more wild, like not wild, but you know what I mean, like a little bit busier. I don't know if it's too busy for me. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, because yeah, I don't know if I should keep going or if I should go back to just one color. I don't know, I'm just not sure. But I really like the density of the fabric. I just used the stated needle size, that's I think a 5mm needle, and it really feels very sturdy and yeah, nice. And what I want to do with this, first of all, I fell in love with the pattern when I saw it, because I think it's very popular right now to design bags, is it? I see a lot of bags currently being designed. And with the one Vanessa made, I really loved that the shape reminded me of something that would be suitable for like a project bag, or like to store your project in while you're at home, like next to your couch or something. And I was searching for a pattern that I don't need to wear, because you know, I created this yarn, this Unspun, and in the video about it I'm telling how long of a journey it was and how long it took me to make this. And since I'm not going to have this again in this exact same way, I wanted something like is it a keepsake? I wanted something that would remind me of this yarn on the long run, and that is not a sweater, because a sweater generally wears out at some point, and I wanted something that would last me for very long and would remind me of this very special yarn and how the process was and everything. And so when I saw the pattern by Vanessa and saw that she also designed it in an Unspun, I was like, this is it. This is going to be my kind of my Thrive keepsake, if you want to put it this way. But yeah, I don't know if that's cheesy, but you know, when you're making your own yarn and you're putting so much effort into it and you're really pouring your heart into it, because yeah, if you want to try and produce sustainable yarn, sometimes you have to face some challenges that are not easy to overcome. But yeah, the feeling of having that in your hands after all is something so special. And yeah, since I've been working on this for so long, I wanted something that would remind me of it. And yeah, that is going to be my Boqueria basket. I also really love the story behind this pattern, because it was inspired by a really big farmer's market in Barcelona where Vanessa lives. And although I haven't visited that farmer's market myself, it really was like the whole story behind it and how Vanessa told it. It really reminded me of a little trip to Barcelona that we had, I think, back in 2019. No, is it that long ago? Maybe, I don't even know. But it's really long. It was a long time ago. And I love that city. I love the vibe of that city. And some of you might know I'm very into food and like going out for food and cooking food and growing food and basically everything around food. And yeah, I just loved the whole vibe of celebrating food and everything in Barcelona generally, and how Vanessa described this farmer's market. I was really reminded of that feeling I had when I was there. So yeah, as a food lover, this was totally making my heart sing, and I really wanted to cast on for the pattern. And so there it is. But now I just have to decide whether I want to keep going with the mild colorway or if I want to get back to just one color. I think if I would go to one color, I think I would go for the Breeze again, just because it's a lighter color, and I think the stitch would be more visible in the light one than in Storm Cloud, which is a darker colorway. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts, please. I'm just very indecisive this time. I'm normally not a very indecisive person, but with this one it's kind of, I don't know, I'm not sure. Which is also why I left it at this point and didn't knit any further, because it takes a lot of time to knit in linen stitch, because it pretty much, like similar to brioche, you kind of knit every row twice because you only knit every other stitch and slip the other one. So yeah, similar to brioche, it just takes a while to knit. So yeah, I don't want to go like really far and then realize it's not my thing and then rip it all back. So please help me. But yeah, I really do enjoy the linen stitch, and I can't wait to have the finished basket that would remind me of my first batch of Unspun Yarn forever and ever. Now I'm going to tell you a bit more about some future projects that I'm planning to do, and some surgery that I'm planning to do. Because this first project I'm going to show you is something that you've probably seen in another podcast episode when I just was working on this, and I've actually never worn this, because this is my Ava sweater by Melody Hoffmann, and it's knit in our BFA Masham DK in the colorway Taupe, and you can see I haven't even woven in the ends. But this sweater is an absolute dream, and it fits super well, and I absolutely love it. It's just way too short. And I did some calculations wrongly, because it's knit bottom up, and I ended up with the body part of it being too short, which I only realized when I was trying it on, and so I have to change something about this. And luckily with this pattern, it's that you have like a provisional cast on at the bottom, and that one you can pick that up again, and then you just knit the ribbing. And so I think what I will do is rib back the ribbing and then see if there is a bigger line, if I just go for a couple of centimeters more of stockinette and then re-knit the ribbing as well. Because I think it shouldn't be very visible if I just get back to the provisional cast on and then don't just do the ribbing directly, but go for a few more centimeters of stockinette. I don't know, but I hope it will work out, because I absolutely love the neckline and everything on this, and it's just very beautiful with a dropped shoulder, and it's really lovely. It's just too short. I mean, you probably know that I crop all my sweaters, and I'm a very short person, so it is nice for me to wear a more cropped fit, but this one is too cropped. And I might have to, I have to do some changes about it, because I'm just not wearing it, and that's stupid. Why I put so much time into a sweater and knit it and then not wear it after all. So, but yeah, this is my Ava, and I'm going to do some surgery on it. Wish me luck. I hope it will turn out well, and yeah, I can't wait to show it to you worn and loved in another episode then. And then I have another project inspired by an Instagram friend of mine. You can find them at Tangles and Jays, and if you don't follow them, go give them a follow. But they made like a crochet blanket out of different colors of Nutiden yarn, and I remember them posting about it, and I was like, ooh, a couple of weeks later I was like, it was someone who posted this, and then I reached out to them and was like, did you post about this? And they were like, yes. And then we chatted a little bit about crocheting with unspun yarns. And so we had a little experiment coming out of that, and there are some crocheted granny squares out of our own unspun yarn, just because I had it around, and wanted to test how it would behave if you crochet with it. And it actually turned out really pretty, I think. I did some experiments both with it held single, both colorways, and held double, and also this is also held single, just to see how it would behave and how it would feel to crochet with unspun yarn, because yeah, this is the front, by the way. I just showed you the back, and the front is much prettier. But yeah, since crocheting works a little bit different, and I'm not as experienced with that, I wanted to test it and see, because I really love the idea of using unspun leftovers for like a granny square blanket or something. And so yeah, these are the little experiments, and I think I would like to I have a few more projects. It won't be until anytime soon, but I think it would be very lovely to make this together with my mom, who is a very experienced... I'm showing the wrong side again? No. Who's a very experienced crocheter herself. And we used to make, years ago when I was still in school, we used to make a granny square blanket out of loads of leftovers. And we crocheted all of the little squares and sewed them all together at the end, and it was really enjoyable because we were able to work on this project together, and I think we ended up with over 400 granny squares that we made, and we really enjoyed that somehow, because my mom was also the person who taught me how to knit, and who is also very involved into the whole business right now, because she's helping me with pretty much everything. And like she's kind of the not visible second person behind this whole business, because she's helping me loads with everything. And yeah, I just love the idea of having another project with her that we are doing together and that we can work on together. I don't know, I just love the idea to do this again. And yeah, since unspun is also so easy to combine, and you can marl strands together, and the colors usually go very well together, at least with the ones that I purchased from, for example, Nutiden and all these kind of things. I think it would be very beautiful to have a little blanket with all kinds of different leftovers. But let's see how that goes. I'm going to share more about this project and whether we'll actually realize it anytime soon in another podcast episode. I also hope to be able to record more of these episodes again, because yeah, I really miss podcasting in this way. I mean, I totally enjoy my shop related podcasting as well, but yeah, I just miss sitting down and chatting you through my projects and my ideas, and yeah, it's kind of it feels more like a connecting kind of way of podcasting, if that makes any sense, and not so much like a business related one. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed me chatting you through my projects, even though I'm a little bit rusted maybe with the whole podcasting thing. But I hope you enjoyed it anyways, and that this episode was yeah, bringing you some joy maybe. And yeah, I'll try to edit and upload this before the weekend, so maybe you can have a little calm Saturday or Sunday evening or afternoon with my rambles. And yeah, I think that is it for today. I hope I didn't forget anything. If I did, I'm going to include it in the next episode. And yeah, feel free to follow me on Instagram as well. I'm woollentwine everywhere, so you can follow me also on Instagram. I also do have Ravelry, but I'm honestly not using it at all. I don't know, I'm never getting the hang of it, and I'm also not very keen with the whole backstory and how everyone behaved around the whole thing. I'm not going to open that discussion at this point, but let's say I'm not very, like, it's not the thing that I want to spend a lot of time on, not the platform I want to spend a lot of time on. But yeah, Instagram is where I'm most active probably, and then here on YouTube, of course. And if any questions ever occur, the easiest way to reach me is via email, and I'm going to link that down below as well as my website and everything. And my on my website you can also sign up for my newsletter, which is also going to be at the bottom of the home page. You can just scroll down there and find the newsletter there, in case you're interested in my naturally dyed yarns. And yeah, I'm going to share them with you very soon. I'm having a shop update planned very soon, so I'm going to probably announce that next week. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed my rambles and can't wait to chat to you again soon, and happy knitting. Bye!